Danny watches a lot of television and movies. John does not. Listen in as she tells him about what she's watching, and he tries to make sense of it all. Welcome to Watching My Stories with Danny and John.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Danny.
And I'm John.
This is Watching My Stories. Ba-dum-bum.
What was that for?
I have no idea.
Oh.
Anyway, hello, everyone. We've got a lot to go over today, as usual. We're a little tired and maybe at this point now grumpy. Sorry about that, everyone.
That would be me.
No, I think both of us. We went to Disney California Adventure yesterday, which was a lot of fun. But we're very tired today. And we were doing chores, actually, all day. And so I think that got to us.
I got up, went to the store.
Yeah.
Came back and cleaned the garage for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I didn't nap.
My hero.
So.
And he didn't nap.
I'm grumpy.
Because he's 2. Yes.
It's Saturday afternoon. You're supposed to nap.
I know. So we're going to try and get through this without you guys having to hear us.
Without us snapping at each other?
The whole time? Is that any different than any other week?
I don't know.
I don't know.
If you're just going to mock me.
Here we go. Okay, so here's what we've got in store today. I've got a few movies to talk about, a few TV shows. I also want to talk, there's a lot that came out this week that I couldn't get to, and a lot coming out this coming week. So I just want to touch base on all those things that I will hopefully be talking about next weekend.
A lot of what?
TV and movies and stuff.
All
so
right,
yeah, it's crazy.
Sorry.
And then in our Actors Corner, we are going to talk about the work of Will Smith.
Yep.
I chose that simply because the Aladdin trailer came out this week, and I guess unlike most people, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it. So
yeah, as we were just talking about right before we started this, I heard some controversy about it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I don't remember what it was.
Don't know. But you never saw the original Aladdin, right? So
no, I don't believe so.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, so let's get going. We're going to start with movies, and we're going to start with Captain Marvel.
Hot dog.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone knows the stars Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. Her former name is Carol Danvers, which I gotta just sidebar right from the start. It freaks me out, and this happens between DC and Marvel so much, where the names are so close. Well, sorry.
You're really upset.
Choke on it.
Sorry.
So Supergirl's name is Kara Danvers, and this is Carol Danvers, and it's so close, and so it just bothers me. Anyway.
So are they related?
No, this is Marvel. Supergirl's DC.
I understand, but it sounds like maybe somebody was playing the long game, like 80 years ago, and maybe set up a crossover.
Supergirl's from Krypton, and Captain Marvel ends up being kind of Kree.
So one of the two just looked at what the other one had done and just named it really close.
Yeah, I guess it happens all the time across these things. It's it happens. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so everyone knows, kind of knows probably just by watching the trailers and stuff. So Brie Larson this movie takes place in the 90s. So we're going back to a time where we haven't really seen in any of the other Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, which was cool. So Nick Fury is in it. This is before his eye patch, although we do see that happen by the end of the movie. And he's kind of young to his job, and actually meeting Captain Marvel is his first encounter with an alien. So we're very early on in his career. Mm-hmm. So the story, it's definitely Captain Marvel's origin story. It's when we first meet her, she's with the Kree civilization. And again, if you follow MCU, then you know who the Kree are. But anyway, so I don't want to get into all the mythological stuff, I guess, and explain all that. But it turns out that she was actually an Earthling. She got into a horrible accident. She was this kick-ass Air Force pilot, even though back in the early 90s she wasn't allowed to be a fighter pilot. So she was working on this kind of secret project type thing, and that's how she got her flying in. But she was in an accident, and the Kree were there, and they took her, and they kind of fixed her. And she had been living with them all that time. And so when she comes back to Earth looking for their enemies, which are the Skrulls, she starts having flashbacks of this former life and all that. Anyway, so then it's the story of that. It's basically the Kree are battling against the Skrulls, and she's there to find the Skrulls and try and take them down because she's been told that the Skrulls are bad. Encounters Nick Fury, and he helps her along the way. She also goes back to find her best friend from when she lived on Earth, which is a really nice story of their friendship. She was another pilot at the time, and of course had been told that she was dead. So, so just kind of talk. Oh, and then there's the cat. If you've heard about the cat, Goose, who's actually a flurkin, which is a whole nother species, but big role there, big importance to the cat and being a flurkin in the entire MCU storyline. It's a big deal. No, it really is a big deal.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry I laughed.
So, anyway, so I just want to, I don't spend a lot of time on things much anymore. So I just kind of want to cover it. I'm giving it 4.5 stars. It's really good. Everyone in it's really good. I loved all of the throwbacks to the 90s. I loved Brie Larson and her strength and ability to shift a lot. Her character has to shift a lot and go through a lot. It was really, but it was great because there was no, this was the problem I had with Wonder Woman, where everyone was like, oh, it was the best. No, because it was like all about this love story, and that just bothered me. And this is what I wanted, because there's no man that she's like even an inkling into, you know what I mean? There's no suggestion of any of that. There's the relationship with her best friend. There's the relationship that develops with Nick Fury as far as a professional working relationship. But there's none of that distraction. So it's really nice. It's just very refreshing. The only other thing I'm going to say in a negative way, and this is across the board, and it's something I say in every one of these movies, is that the guys always get to be these charismatic, charming, goof off if they want to, crack a joke, all that sort of stuff, people. And then they're also the heroes. The women never get to be that. Scarlett Johansson is always the one who doesn't participate in the jokes, or, as Black Widow. And, it's like we don't see the women get to be that. They don't get to have the punchline. Brie has some great lines in this. So she does definitely have some of those that carry through, but it doesn't feel like that same laugh out loud moments that I have in so many of the other movies. So, and it's not on her. It's kind of that thing where women, we either have to be like kind of smart and strong or fat and funny, because it's like the only women who really get to be cut ups are the fat ones. So anyway, it's just, again, a whole nother sidebar of my kind of issues with this, but I think that changes as the group develops. So Captain Marvel, the reason I'm not giving it the full 5 stars is because I also have an issue with origin stories. A lot of times they tend to be a little bit more boring than when we get into their second films. And with this one, it's easy because we've only got a month to go, and she'll be in Endgame, and it'll be a lot better. It's just, and when I go back to the first Captain America, the first Thor, the Hulks, let's not even start talk about those. Even the first Deadpool, they're all great movies, and you need to see them to learn the origin story. But when I go back and rewatch, these things, it's not usually those first movies that I want to sit through and watch. I think I just like to watch the action more than telling me the story. I don't know what that is. But anyway, so the action in this one is great. It's really cool. And again, there's this whole, you can go into like really deep into it, right? And there's the whole story of a woman finding herself. And in this case, pretty much literally, because her mind had been swept clean. So she doesn't remember herself.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But it's not just in finding herself and who she was when she was on Earth. It's also discovering who she is now, because she has to come up with these powers that she now has and this kind of new, not goal, this new
responsibility.
Yeah, that she because of finding out things now, it's okay, I've got this, and through figuring all of that out is when she truly finds her power. And when she does, it's fantastic. Like, it's just so cool, and you just can't you're just so excited. And honestly, I can't wait to see her interact with everyone else, because it almost feels like she's indestructible. So it'll be interesting to see how it all works together. I mean, we know she's an integral part in helping the Avengers, take down Thanos and get everyone else to come back to life. But it's going to be really cool. And I'm really excited to see where else we can go. And I don't know if her future movies are going to be still kind of going back in time, because there's still a whole war between the Kree and Skrulls that happened in the comic books, that happened before Iron Man. So, we're going back 15 years or whatever. So there's still more story that could happen there. Iron Man, I will say, is the only movie, the first of his movie, that I will watch over and over and over again. That's the best origin story / whatever. That's my favorite out of the whole MCU, actually. So,
including Deadpool.
Yeah, I said I didn't like the first Deadpool. It's not. No, I didn't not like it. It's just boring. I don't like to rewatch it that much. Okay. Yeah.
Is that hindsight, or did you feel that way when you first saw it?
I loved it when I first saw it, and I still love it. It's great. But I'll watch Deadpool 2 over and over and over again before I'll watch the first Deadpool.
Okay.
I've seen it a handful of times, but the whole cancer thing, it's like, it's boring.
Okay.
So anyway, so it's really, really good. It's really, it's an exciting movie. Great characters. It's if you love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you will love it, obviously, and you have to see it in order to get to the next one. I don't think you're gonna have to see it, but
I just get to the next one on my own.
Yeah, you skip around here and there. There's a lot you haven't seen.
That's okay.
But it's really good, and I'm really excited to see where this goes from here. And I'm a huge fan of Brie Larson, and I already was before she got this. And I just feel like she's the right representative to have. I'm really excited.
Good
for her to have that.
Good
to have this,
because it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it is totally. But I'm not worried about that at all. Yeah. Anything else that I was? Oh, and Coulson's back, which was nice. He's only in it a little bit, but it was nice because he died at the end of last season of Agents of Shield, and I'm still waiting for the next season to come back, but without him, it's just really hard to.
I'm not convinced anybody's ever really dead there.
Well, he died in the first Avengers movie, and then they brought him back to life for the TV show.
Yeah,
but they've said that he's really dead this time, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so that's Captain Marvel, 4.5 stars. It's in theaters. Check it out for sure.
All right.
Okay, next movie, the Lego Movie 2, the second part. I finally saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm giving this 4 stars.
Okay.
Only look, this was really good. It was really entertaining. I love the first one. And I honestly, when I found out they were doing a second one, I was like, that's stupid, because you can't get that magic back. It was such a great reveal at the end to figure out that it was the kid playing and Will Ferrell and all that stuff. They did a brilliant job of figuring out how to make this work for a second one.
Oh, great.
It's fantastic. And remember at the end, the sisters' Legos came down and started and was like, we're going to,
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow.
Don't ever start out a sentence to me. Do you remember?
Wow.
So
anyway, at the end of the first movie, the sisters, like big toddler Legos came in. She was like, I'm going to destroy you all and all that. So they kind of pick up from there. I mean, we're a few years down the road, but it's really brilliant because there's a war, and the Lego people that we know are living in this apocalypse burg, and because they've been getting destroyed with all the sister Legos, basically. And that's the Sistar system.
Sistar.
Yeah.
I like
and,
it.
There's just all little kind of things in this whole thing. And it comes back to in the first one, the father wouldn't let the kid play with the Legos. And so it's very meaningful at the end. There's a whole nother meaningful story here between the sister and brother. Lots more music. We only had the one annoying song in the first one. In this one, there's like 4 or 5 annoying songs, but they're so freaking catchy and so entertaining. Lots of little jokes. Tiffany Haddish is in this one. She's hysterical. It's just fun, and they really made it smart.
Good.
And a lot of things that, I think kids have a blast with it, but I think there's a lot of things they don't catch, and that the adults will like even more.
Very cool.
So it's definitely worth checking out. I can't wait to see it. I also watched the Batman Lego movie, his standalone, and that was funny. Wasn't as good to me.
Yeah.
But these are definitely so worth it.
Well, when it comes on the movie channels, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one I watched is Holmes and Watson.
Okay.
So this, if everyone doesn't remember, is Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly back together again, which is great. And they are playing Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson. And they took it back to where it's set back in the 1800s, and they speak with their English accents, and Moriarty's in it, and that's Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes plays Moriarty, and what's his name? House. What's the guy's name of House?
I'm
blanking. Anyway, he plays Mycroft. He was really funny.
Okay.
So if everyone remembers, the movie was panned. Everyone said it was horrible. People were walking out in the middle of it. All that. And at the time, look, I don't listen to a lot of that, especially if I like the people. And look, it's not great. I'm giving it 2 stars.
Wow. I think that's your lowest rating.
I don't think so, but it's and I'm not even sure of the 2, and I'm not even sure why 2, except they're funny. So here's the difference. And so you've got to take it from my point of view. I just really love them. And so together they're just funny. And the way that they just go back and forth, I can just watch that no matter kind of what circumstances it are. I mean, I'll watch Step Brothers every day if I could. And this was funny. There was some mystery involved. There was this sort of weird mystery. And the thing that I found the most confusing was that, Holmes, he would be an idiot in a lot of ways, and then be Sherlock Holmesy, and he would be like, oh, I knew, here's what's happening, and he would figure out what was going on. So he was really smart, but then sometimes he was just so silly and stupid. So that was kind of weird. And Watson was just adult. They really made him quite dumb. But again, if I were to watch it again and really pay attention, I'd probably come up with 20 lines that I could keep and use over and over again, just like any of their movies.
Okay.
But do I want to sit through it again? No, probably not.
Okay.
Now, maybe when it comes on the movie channels and I come in for 10 minutes or something, maybe. But the biggest telling of how I feel about this, as I said to you, you don't need to see it.
Yeah, that's
because if it was totally worth it, then I would have been like, you know what, it wasn't great, but it's funny and you need to see it.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like that.
Yeah. So as everybody may or may not know, I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan. He's grown on me. Now, The House was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time, I think. But I think the two of them, Step Brothers, was probably the best. Those two at their zenith.
It's just a classic. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. I've seen Ricky Bobby probably 2 or 3 times. Talladega Nights.
Yes, sorry, Talladega Nights. And they have a couple others, I think. But, to me, they're very hit and miss. And even in the same movie, they're hit and miss.
Old school. Who are you talking about?
Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Oh, them together. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, I'm not shocked by your assessment. I'm not shocked that people were saying what they were saying. Because I saw everything I needed to see from the trailers. So...
Yeah, which, there's just little times that I would giggle and whatever. But it's fine.
But to me, that's not worth it.
Yeah. So anyway, okay. Holmes and Watson, 2 stars. It's up to you. I can't
2
even
stars.
Really.
It's up to you.
Yeah. The next movie I wanted to talk about just quickly is because it came out on, you can purchase it now, is Mary Poppins Returns.
Oh, yeah.
And because we loved it so much, I just wanted to touch base. So it came out, I think, Tuesday. I think I've watched it twice already, and then we started watching it and got maybe half into it. So 2.5 times this week.
Yeah.
No wonder I haven't watched all the other stuff.
In 4 days, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's just great. And again, if you haven't watched it or you were unsure or whatever, it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a great compliment to the original.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. It's a great...
Emily Blunt is perfection.
Yeah, they pay a lot of homage to the original, but yet it's different, new, and fresh.
Right.
And a lot... The music is so fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention that in case you guys haven't gone out there, but now it's ready for rent or you can purchase.
Yep. Money well spent.
Yes. Now I'm going to move on to television.
Here we go.
First show I'm going to talk about is a new show that came out yesterday on Hulu called Shrill.
Oh, yeah.
With Adie Bryant. It's 6 episodes of 30-minute episodes, very easy viewing. This is based on a book, I guess, I've been told. Of course, everyone knows I don't read. I watch the movie. So, I watched this, not really sure at all what I was getting into. And honestly, the second episode in, I was like, again, I still don't know where this is going, but I'm in. And here's the thing. It's not anything. Like, I don't think I could describe anything to you other than Adie Bryant plays this character, Annie. She lives in Portland, and she works as a writer for a little newspaper. Mm-hmm. John Cameron Mitchell is her boss. He's the original Hedwig. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome. He's great. Her parents are Daniel Stern and Julie.
No.
The chick who plays Pat. It's Pat on SNL.
Oh, yeah.
Julie.
Don't know.
So those are her parents, and then she lives with her best friend, and she's dating a guy, and that's kind of it. We're just kind of watching her life for these few days, and through it, she's kind of, it's just very interesting. It's just really cool. I really fell in love with this character, Annie, because she's totally, she knows who she is. She might not love certain parts of it, but that's okay. And through this, she kind of learns to love certain parts, but then maybe falls again. Like it's all up and down. But she's really kind of sure of herself as a person. Like she never questions that really.
Right.
So a lot of emphasis is put on her looks. It's Adie Bryant, so she is overweight. One of which is that her boyfriend doesn't like to use condoms, and so she takes the morning after pill, and then she gets pregnant. And it turns out the morning after pill doesn't work for people over 175 pounds. And no one ever told her that. She has to go to the pharmacist to buy it every time, and the guy never was saying anything to her.
Wow.
Yeah, so she had to get an abortion.
Is that true?
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Because you would think that's a major faux pas.
Right. I don't know if that's true or not. I would assume. I don't think they would just make something like that up. So there's quite a few things like that are just like, she goes to a big girl pool party, and it's all these plus size women, and at first she's really put off with it, because again, she's like, well, this isn't cool. I don't want to be part of this group. And then she finally decides to give in, and so there's that, but it's not about that too. That's just a part of her. We investigate her relationship with her parents, and then there's this whole relationship with this guy that she's seeing, and she stands up for herself in so many ways. It's just It's just really good.
Yeah, I do have to say that I watched it for maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The end of one episode. But I've been close enough, a room adjacent to you watching it. And I have to say, it sounds like it's even more profane than like The Sopranos. Because there were...
Oh, really?
Oh, God. Maybe it's just the one scene where her and her boyfriend were fighting or they were breaking up or whatever. Or... Yeah, because the FUs flying around were like candy. I mean, in like 3 minutes, it was like, holy smokes. Yeah, it was off the charts. But
I don't really know that that's the case. But I mean, they curse, but nothing more unusual than any other show.
Okay.
So anyway, it's just like a really long movie, right? It's a little under 3 hours. Totally worth checking out. They're all on Hulu now. Aidy Bryant's fantastic. She's just so lovely.
Yeah, I've always thought she was underrated.
Yeah. And like this character is just, it's just great. I don't even know how to explain it. You just need to watch it. It is a little bit millennial-ish, So again, if you've had issues watching millennial shows, maybe you won't get it.
Or being around millennials.
But yeah, it's still, it's a great female story.
Okay.
I'll say that.
Good.
Okay, next show is one that we watched together, so now you can participate.
Are we finally getting there?
Yeah.
All right.
So this is a show that came out last weekend on Netflix called Afterlife.
Yes.
Not one word, two words.
And that pronunciation
and that's
is
exactly
right.
what it's about.
Yes,
Afterlife.
Afterlife.
This is Ricky Gervais's new show. He wrote and directed every episode. There's, again, only 6 episodes, under a half hour each. Again, it's just like a long movie. And the best thing I can say is this is the most perfect show I've probably ever seen.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say that too. When you first told me about it and we started watching it, I thought it was his new stand-up. After Humanity and whatever, we started watching it, I realized, it's
How long did it take for you to realize it wasn't a stand-up when we're watching a show?
No, like the first 30 seconds.
Okay.
Going into it, when you said, hey, we're going to watch Ricky Gervais Afterlife, I thought it was a stand-up.
Oh, okay.
I didn't even know about this show.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
I heard nothing about this show, didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
And like 10 minutes in, I was like, I hope this keeps going like it is.
Right. And it's not. Ricky only really does one season of things. Maybe in extras he did more than one.
Well, he had to have. And wasn't The Office on with him for like 5 seasons?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I can look it up, but no, it was not. He gets tired of characters, he says, really easily. So he just likes to kind of do it. And then, so.
Is this really a character?
Well, yeah. So the premise of the show is his wife has died, within the last year when we come in and we meet him. And he is miserable beyond miserable.
Yeah.
He is suicidal. He's tried to kill himself a couple times. He can't imagine life without her.
Yes.
So he basically has stopped mostly everything. He wears sweatpants. He doesn't clean the house. The only thing that is keeping him going every day is his dog, because he has to feed his dog and walk his dog. He goes by his office, which he's a writer in a little free newspaper run by his brother-in-law. He goes to visit his father, who has Alzheimer's, in a nursing home. And then he goes to his wife's grave and visits her. And so we come in, he's this horrible man, angry at everyone, treats everyone such. He's very mean to everyone, but also not. He's also very sweet.
Well, he shows enough glimpses early on,
right,
to being a really nice person.
Well, and we're clued in from the very beginning. He watches videos from his wife constantly. So we're seeing videos that she recorded from her hospital bed to him. And so she talks about how he truly is. So we know who he is before this happened to him.
Yeah, and she's reminding him in these videos to not fall into this.
Right.
That he's fallen into, and to live and be how he always was, a nice guy and funny and full of life. And, he's fallen, but...
Right. So in these 6 episodes, we see the arc of him basically for after the life of his wife. People want him to date again. His brother-in-law is scared to death he's going to kill himself anytime, and we see him attempt it a couple times. And luckily his dog steps in and saves his life, which is what they're here for. And look, it's funny. There's a lot of funny moments.
So funny.
And yet I cried probably 50% of the time as well. And that's on Ricky. He's amazing in this.
He's really underrated as an actor.
I don't know if entirely, but in this series, he's amazing.
He really is.
So grumpy, but yet sweet. Like he befriends a sex worker just because, and there's just, again, in 6 episodes, what he did and all the people we were introduced to. There's a woman that whose husband is buried next to his wife, and so he ends up talking to her a lot. And she's, again, the writing in this, some of the lines are fantastic. The happiness is amazing line, it's the stupidity line of stupidity only hurts others.
Dying is just like stupidity and only hurts the ones around you.
There's just amazing kind of really poignant lines in this. Everyone's so good in it. The people he works with, which are just kind of these ragtag bunch of people, but you end up falling in love with them. It's just great. I honestly, I'm so taken by it. I was completely swept up in it in a way that I didn't know I would be.
Yeah, me too. And I really don't know how to describe it.
Right.
You're describing it perfectly. And I want to say more about it, but I don't know what to say. It's
right.
It really is just a perfect show.
It's perfect because it's funny, it's touching, it's loving. It's a tribute to, I think, his girlfriend Jane, even though she's still alive. It's a tribute to dogs. It's a tribute to friendship, even though, someone treats you horribly when you know they've gone through the ringer and you just stick with them because they're your friend. There's a big thing there. You can pull someone back from that,
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff going on in this.
Yeah.
And you just have to see it in order to go through it, and go on this really kind of beautiful journey, even though it seems really ugly at times. But I don't question any of that. I would be exactly the same way.
It's so entertaining that even the uncomfortable parts, are short-lived, and you get back to being entertained. Even though what's happening may not actually be funny, it's done in a way that's just entertaining.
Right.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I was so disappointed when you told me that it more than likely will not have a second season.
No, yeah.
That's.
I don't want it to have a second season. Actually, the ending the ending was even perfect. I don't need to see anything else. I know what happens.
I understand that. It's just that I found this show so. I was so looking forward to every episode.
Yeah.
Now that I want there to be a second season. The ending was pretty perfect.
Yeah.
And
only bad stuff happens after that. We don't need to see more of that. Yeah.
Has to.
Yeah. So it's called Afterlife on Netflix. Again, just a long movie. You can put it in one evening. You can be done with it.
Yeah.
And you won't want to stop.
Every 30 minutes is a full spectrum of emotions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Okay. The only other TV show I want to touch on is just one that ended this week. We've talked about it multiple times. But because it ended and because it's only on True TV, I want to just keep talking about it so it gets a third season.
Yes.
And that's I'm Sorry, the show with Andrea Savage and Tom Everett Scott, and the funniest show. I think I can actually say now, probably the funniest show I've ever watched in my life. I think I have laughed harder at this show than I've ever laughed at Will and Grace or, some of what I considered to be the funniest shows ever. I think I laugh consistently almost the entire 22 minutes of I'm Sorry.
Yes.
And so we've talked about it. This was just the second season that ended. There's only 10 episodes. The first season is on Netflix. If you haven't gotten to watch the first season, go check it out. I think it's universal comedy. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But it's about being in a relationship. It's about being a parent. It's about just being a person in the world and working. And, you know, it's kind of always, remember in Seinfeld, they always were the like bad person characters. Like, you know, again, at the end, they ended up all in jail and stuff for being bad people.
Yes.
This is more like you can be normal, like, which isn't always a good person, but you're not a villain. You know, you can curse and say bad things and get yourself in the wrong situations at your kid's school or something like that. And that's okay. It's funny. And, you know.
And the genius of the show is her character is a comedy writer.
Right.
So she's relatively unfiltered
she's funny.
anyway. And she's incredibly funny, which Andrea Savage is obviously incredibly funny.
Yeah.
Right. So it's through that unfiltered or kind of jaded point of view that she says and does all these things, and then there's the people around her that have to hear this and figure out what to do with it.
Right. And that's kind of the brilliance of it is, you know, it's about her and her relationship with her husband, which is fantastic, her relationship with her kid, which is funny and awkward, the parents at the schools, which is also funny and awkward, and her parents, which are just insane. You know, and it's and if nothing else, this show has cornered the uncomfortable, awkward moments in life.
So something you just said really struck me as perfect. And basically, every scene is funny and awkward.
Yes,
in some way.
Yeah, if it's uncomfortable, they will sit in it.
Yes.
And that's kind of what makes us laugh so much, because it's either something we've been in or we can imagine being in that situation, and you're just kind of like, you just start to giggle out of it all because you're like, oh my God, they're going to keep doing this stuff.
That's just it. They managed to make fun of it while it's happening.
Right.
And the more awkward it is, the funnier it becomes.
Right. But it's not just a moment, like a fleeting moment. Like some shows will just be like, oh, here's a funny gag. And then they move on.
Right.
It becomes kind of the talk of the episode.
Yes.
Because then she goes and she has to tell her husband. And then like here's an example. She had a sex dream, a very involved sex dream with her daughter's kindergarten teacher. And this guy is this kind of stoic, you know, guy. And it became a running joke throughout the whole season that she had this very uncomfortable dream about him. But as things escalated, she also then accidentally copied him on an email to her husband when she was talking about having an affair with the kindergarten teacher, and all this sort of stuff. Just, it piles and it rolls and it rolls and it rolls into these bigger jokes and bigger jokes.
Yep.
And nothing is ever really thrown at you for no reason.
Right.
There's a reason that they're making this bit work. And it all comes together. And this season, they brought it all together from the first episode to the end. It's just fantastic.
And there are some of the funniest people.
I mean, I never realized how I've always loved Tom Everett Scott.
Yes,
but man, he's just trying to keep up.
That guy. So he's the straight man.
Yeah.
To Andrea Savage, and he, without missing a beat, he has the perfect reactions to basically everything she says.
Yes.
And it's just so good.
Sometimes the bigger laugh is his reaction. And his reaction might just be okay, but it's the look on his face and there's just little inflection in his voice, and you just know what he's thinking, and it's just perfect.
And she is very forward and you know, not afraid to say pretty much anything.
Right.
And he's a little more reserved, and every once in a while he'll be like, okay, I'm going to give it a go. And he'll make a joke or say something, and she'll be like, oh, all right, you want to go? Right. And like a minute later, he's like, I'm sorry.
Takes it
I'm sorry
higher.
for doing that. I'm out of my league again. It's
just perfect.
It's so good.
I saw Andrea on the other day mentioned online that she doesn't know when the second season's getting to Netflix. But I'm sure it'll be within a couple months. So if you haven't watched it, go watch the first season. The second season was easily twice as funny as the first one.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the first one.
And the first season was great.
Yeah,
so
totally.
So definitely check out the first season, and then whenever the second season goes on Netflix. Otherwise, I just keep begging True TV to make sure there's a third season.
Yeah, it's got to be their highest rated show. I would hope.
Yeah, I don't know what else is on that channel.
It's certainly their best show. Without seeing any of the others.
Right. Okay, so that's everything I have for television. I just wanted to talk about things that came out this week that I haven't gotten to yet. That is the latest half of season 5 of Arrested Development. I started it last night. I will finish it. The last season of Catastrophe came out on Amazon, so I'm working on that. Triple Frontier, that Ben Affleck movie that is on Netflix. I'm going to get to that. The Idris Elba show on Netflix called Turn Up Charlie. On HBO, there's a documentary Monday night called The Inventor. It's the story of Elizabeth Holmes, who was the CEO of that Theranos company. So there's also a podcast that came out this year called The Dropout, which is all about her and this case because it's the biggest fraud case in history. It's really interesting. She's quite a character, but bigger than that. What they did was really kind of horrible because they were screwing with people's health.
Well, she's quite a character, but basically a psychopath.
I don't think that's been determined entirely.
Okay, maybe not medically, but socially, from the sidelines, looking at what she did and was able to do. Yeah, that's pretty bad stuff that her and people close to her did to people.
Yes, I think she can lie for sure.
Very convincingly.
Yeah, but anyway, it'll be a great documentary to check out. And if you don't know anything about it, check out the documentary or listen to the podcast called The Dropout, because she dropped out of college, and you'll learn about the case there.
Okay.
It's only like 6 episodes of the podcast.
Okay.
So also this week coming out, Amy Schumer's latest stand-up comes to Netflix on Tuesday, I believe.
Oh wow. Okay.
The new show The Fix, which is Marsha Clark's show.
Oh yeah.
That looks good. That comes out this week. The Act comes out on Hulu. The Act is the story of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mom Dee Dee, and that was the mother who had Munchausen syndrome, so she kept her kid in a wheelchair all life until finally the kid killed her. Well, she had a boyfriend kill her. And the second season of The OA, which I loved the first season, so I don't think they'll be able to keep up with the second season, but I'm looking forward to it. And the biggest one of all, the movie that comes out that I got my ticket for this week, is Us.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Jordan Peele's latest movie. I can't wait.
Oofta.
So I will be talking about that on next week's podcast because I'm seeing it Saturday morning.
If you survive it.
Hello.
Sorry.
I already had a nightmare about it. So
yeah.
But that's okay. I can't wait.
Okay.
So that's everything I'm looking for, and hopefully we'll be talking about on next week's episode. I will try to get through it all. Okay, we're going to move on to our Actors Corner.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about Will Smith, a.k.a. the Genie, in the new Aladdin movie.
Yep.
Very excited.
Yep.
Okay. Movies you loved.
So I got it down to 2.
Okay.
Independence Day and Men in Black.
The first one?
That's the only one I've seen.
Okay.
Yes.
I put Independence Day, other movie I like, which,
Sorry, I got to sneeze.
Which isn't really... I mean, I do love it. I remember seeing it the first time, and it was just... I was blown away. And I can still watch it now.
Yes.
And I still,
Sorry.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Every time I watch it, it's still great. And that's how, to me, I measure a great movie when, I can still be a little tense and a little nervous. And,
yes.
And he carries that movie. As good as Jeff Goldblum is, as good as, Bill Pullman is. Bless you.
Thank you.
It's, it's all him, in my opinion. For sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly don't think I've seen any of the Men in Blacks in full. I think I've seen pieces of them.
Okay.
Is the first one... Who's the villain in the first one?
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Okay, so that's that one where he's in the barn and...
Yeah.
Okay. And his face falls off and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've seen... But I couldn't tell you...
You ever pulled the wings off a fly when you were a kid? You want to see the fly get even? That's his big line from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he basically skins a guy and takes a guy's skin, which is why his skin is falling off.
Okay.
And so he has to keep tightening it and that sort of thing. And
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've never seen them, really. I should just sit down and watch them. But
I saw bits. I started the second one. It didn't do it for me. The first one is just so good.
Gotcha.
I have that ability to not watch a follow-up just because they made it, even if I love the first one. Because a lot of times I'll be like, there's nothing needs to be done here. you didn't need to do a second one, so I'm not interested.
Okay.
I know it's weird, but I'm able to do that.
Well, I think a lot of people are. It's not an ability.
That's why sequels don't do well a lot of times.
Okay, so what I love, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can't. Will Smith is nothing to me without that show. I love it. I know every episode. I will still watch them on Nick at Night. It's my life. You know, it's my
during your formative years.
A little bit older, I think.
Well,
I would say I was middle school, I think, when it started.
I had my formative years in my 20s. We all know that.
That's different. Yeah. So love the show. Love it so much. Great. I have favorite episodes. He was just fantastic in it.
Okay.
The other thing I came up with here is iRobot. Out of all these movies, I sat back and I was like, which one can I not pass up when it's on?
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's iRobot.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
It's a complete movie.
He's fantastic in it.
It's got it all.
Yeah.
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 There's not a bad scene in that movie.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Movies you like?
Hitch.
Yes.
But almost more so for Kevin James and the woman that plays the rich woman that Kevin James is after. But he's, he is Hitch, so it's his movie. Right. But it's a good movie. It's sweet.
Love him in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then iRobot.
Okay.
Yeah, for all the reasons mentioned previously.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have Independence Day, which we talked about, and then my second one is Concussion.
Oh, okay.
I thought he was great in it, and I loved the story. And everyone knows. Well, I don't know if everyone knows, but my version of football. But that movie did it in. So
yeah, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
You should.
I probably
Everyone should.
I should. Okay.
Movies you hate.
I Am Legend.
Me too.
Yeah.
It was a good movie.
Right up until
the dog had to die.
Yes.
And now I can't watch it ever again. So, yeah, they ruined a good movie for no reason.
Producers, writers, actors, marketers, everybody listening. You think they're all listening? They might be. Don't kill a dog in a movie.
Don't kill a dog, ever.
Because it will flounder on when it goes to movie channels. Nobody will buy it. Nobody will rent
that's not true. You have to just speak about yourself.
I speak for a lot of people.
True.
I speak for a lot of people.
Anyway, do you have any others?
No, that's it.
My other is After Earth.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I was so not looking forward to it. I wanted to see it.
I watched it because it was M. Night Shyamalan directed it, but it wasn't his story.
Yeah.
He didn't. So, I just didn't enjoy it. It was that simple. I just didn't enjoy it. So.
Okay.
Movies you secretly love.
Made in America.
Yeah, he was the daughter's boyfriend, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Teacup.
Yeah.
Teacup Haskell, or I don't remember his T right. Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So him and Ted Danson had some good exchanges.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
God, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That wasn't a movie I watched over and over again.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I haven't seen it for a long time, but I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cute and sweet. And who's the girl in there?
I don't remember. Anyway. Any others?
Nope.
Okay. So I have 3 here. And these are all kind of, I think for the first time, fit into the secretly loved category because no one seemed to really like these movies, but I didn't find them so bad.
Okay.
So first is 7 Pounds. I actually really liked that movie. It was depressing but also lovely. And it stuck with me. I liked it. The other is Collateral Beauty, which just came out a couple years ago with Helen Mirren and Kate Winslet, and no one seemed to like it. And it wasn't great. It was a great idea, and it could have been put together better. But the idea that was there, I liked, and I liked him in it. It was decent enough. So that's that. And then Focus, the one with him and what's her name?
Focus. No.
Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Margot Robbie.
Yes.
And they're like, he's like a con artist. He's like a sleight of hand con artist and all that. And people really didn't like it. And I thought it was clever. I thought it was kind of pretty to look at. Yeah, I didn't find it so bad.
Okay.
But it's hard because it's kind of like, I don't secretly love these and watch them all the time. But when I stood back and looked at the full, everything that he has, I was kind of like, I actually liked these, so it's a little weird.
Okay.
Embarrassed you haven't seen?
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, I know. You can keep looking at me like that, but
I know.
I'm looking away.
There's nothing I can do for you.
Life is full of choices, and I've made some bad ones.
Yes, you have. This is definitely one of them.
But you're the best one.
Oh, thanks. Okay.
How am I doing?
I have not seen Ali.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, neither have I.
And I would like to, but I don't know. I don't know why. It's not like I think I've seen scenes of it, and I've just never sat and watched the whole thing.
Yeah, see, here's the thing, and we're getting into it for the next...
What is it? I think
last category.
Nap time is quickly approaching, everybody.
Oh, I'm suffering for not having taken one. The last... Oh, she yawns. The last category.
Today, Junior. Oh my gosh.
What do we get?
Oh, what do you want to add to your watch list?
Oh, did we already do the watch list?
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the
Not
so this
good.
is what we're getting to.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing what?
Nothing. I don't want to add anything to my watch list.
I saw something on your list.
I put The Legend of Bagger Vance because I wanted to have something if you're going to...
How have you never seen The Legend of Bagger Vance?
It's easy. I haven't seen a lot of things.
Okay.
Right before I
have
watch
nothing
I don't.
on my list as well, but I did want to have some honorable mentions. The Bad Boys movies, I love them. I'm thrilled they're coming out with a third one, and I saw in his list there's going to be a fourth one. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah. Enemy of the State, love that movie.
I forgot about that one.
Love it.
I forgot about that one. That's in my love list. Because him and Gene Hackman look great.
It's great, and it's really well done.
Yeah.
Legend of Bagger Vance I had on here. Shark Tale, classic. The Pursuit of Happiness. Oh.
Yeah.
Kills me.
Yeah.
Baller every time. Hancock, I really like him and John. him and Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
It's good. Good back and forth. I really liked it. Suicide Squad was not good. He's not going to be in the next one. Idris Elba, I think, is taking his place. But he was good in it. I mean, to me, that was kind of one of the high points. To me, I feel like you can put Will Smith in anything, and I'm just going to like it because of him.
Yeah.
He has that for me.
He doesn't have that for me. I thought Margot Robbie was easily the best part of that movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And now she's got her own movie coming out this year.
Wow.
And I haven't seen Aquaman yet because I heard it sucked. So the DC movies are just so different for me. I just...
They're barely comic book movies, right?
No, they are. It's just DC Comics are so dark. So it's just like...
so dark and not good.
The comics are good.
Well,
and the TV shows are good.
So the movie adaptations are not good. Comparatively.
I'm going to say no, it's just not my thing. But again, it depends on who does them, because the 3 Christopher Nolan Batman movies were the best ever.
Yes, I will
And actually,
agree with
Tim Burton's Batman movies were great. So it just depends who puts it together and who's doing it. Yeah, so... All right, everybody. I think that's it. We all got to go to bed.
Yeah.
It's not even 5 o'clock yet, but...
It's bedtime somewhere.
I think we're done for the night. Got to feed the pups. And
the studio
that's
dog.
it. So we did get some new designs up on our Etsy store. So go to our website, watchingmystories.com, and there's a link to our Etsy store. We did get some new designs up there. Hopefully there'll be more coming this week as well.
If we can get the designer to crank them out.
That's right. And follow us on Instagram. Like I said last week, I post most everything on Instagram and then sometimes on Facebook and Twitter. So check us out there. And that's it, everybody. Have a wonderful week. And until then, I'll be watching my stories.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.